All right, day 4 of Olympic wrestling just wrapped up. It was kind of a sad session. I don't know if you can tell, Christian's looking a little dejected, as am I.
Yeah.
A lot to be sad about, one thing to be happy about. But we'll start with the bad and end with the good, and on a positive note. First, let's start with 86 kilos. The beginning of the day, Aaron Brooks, he's looking great.
Yeah, Aaron Brooks, early match, controlling everything, ends up with a 4-3 win. He's really a 4-1 win. He gave up 2 kind of cheesy points right at the end as time was expiring. In control the whole time, and then really made a statement against Ishiguro of Japan, who is an absolute beast. He beat Aaron at Junior Worlds in 2018, so we knew it would be a good match, but it actually wasn't. Aaron smoked him.
Well, it was 1-1 going into the second period.
Yeah, then he just scored 10 points. And,
he just broke him.
Ishiguro could no longer remain on the mat with him, and the match was over. So 11-1, and you're feeling like, all right, Brooks is only going to feel better for this semifinal match, and that seemed to be the case. He's wrestling Ramazanov of Bulgaria. Things are looking good, man. He comes out, he gets a 1 early, and then closes the first period with a nice double leg takedown.
That's awesome.
And you're thinking, and literally, I went back and rewatched it on the broadcast after watching it live, and Ramazanov, literally, like, as he's getting taken down, he's like, shakes his head, like, what just happened? And I was watching that, I was like, all right, he's winning for sure. This guy's, it's already in his head. And then things start to, the second period just goes a little bit differently. And this was the key, really, we'll talk about the end, but I think this was the key here. Aaron got in on a beautiful single leg and was, I can't tell you, he was so close to scoring that they actually, the whistle awarded 2 and it wasn't confirmed. It was so close to 2. Almost had it this way, then that way, and then almost set him on his hip. And then Ramazanov's tricky defensively. That's what we learned today. And he was able to get out of it, and it was a no-score type of situation. And that would have made it 5-0, because then Aaron takes another shot. He's on a high crotch, and he's just kind of holding, gives up the takedown. And then another point goes off, and it makes it 4-3. And there's very, very short time remaining. Aaron ends up on a low-level leg attack. And
just holding on to the ankle.
Holding on, he's kind of lifted. He's got it lifted like he's trying to come out the back door. And he holds. Opposite far ankle has Ramazanov, and he's just kind of holding. And then he switches to the other leg. I mean, when I tell you his last second, rolls him through for 2. Just kind of, he went from one way to the other, and Aaron just didn't know which way to kind of shift his hips. Just trying to hold there, maybe just set a score. You can re-wrestle that thing 1,000 times, and maybe Aaron only gives up the 2 that time, but it was such a tough way to lose, because it felt like Aaron was better for most of the match, but at the end there, you can't give up that exposure. So he loses, and it almost goes from, his rookie debut in the Olympic finals to now he's gonna wrestle for bronze, which is still an incredible accomplishment. If he were to win and come back with a medal is amazing, but just when you feel like you're gonna win and then you lose, it freaking hurts.
It's heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's tough, really tough.
We were with the American crowd, and it just felt like the energy got sucked. And you see all these Russians like standing up and cheering. It's like, bummer.
Corny. They're lame.
All right, and then moving on to 57 kilos.
Well,
Helen
why don't we
Maroulis.
stay at 86? Because Yazdani,
Yeah.
Miles. I mean, Miles, Amin, San Marino, but from Michigan, wrestled at Michigan, and he won a 16-14 match in his quarterfinal to set up this match against Yazdani, who's been a long-time nemesis. And for American fans, everyone's rooting for Miles. No one wants Yazdani to win, and he comes out, he gets to step out off a nice leg attack. You're like, oh, okay, here we go. And then Yazdani is a tsunami that doesn't exist in wrestling, in terms of just being able to physically overwhelm people to the point that they can't even stay in the mat with him. And no one has been able to crack that code other than David Taylor at 86 kilograms. It's never happened.
Yeah.
And Miles, as good as he is, it doesn't feel like, at least for Miles, and I don't know if he'll feel this way, but for me, it's like, I don't know what he could have done differently. What do you do? Be a bigger person? Tactically in that match, I don't think he could do anything different. So he loses pretty dominantly, as most Yazdani matches are. So Yazdani wins that one. He's in the finals against Ramazanov.
Yeah.
That's 86.
It gives you always had an appreciation for what David Taylor was able to do against Yazdani because you saw what Yazdani did on his way to the finals.
Yeah.
But it just reminds you every year. You get reminded. You're like, man, how did he figure that guy out?
He's an all-time. I mean, that's David Taylor's just that special. He's that special. Wrestling genius.
Moving on to 57 kilos, Helen Maroulis. First match, gets the dub. I think it was 7-4 against India. Second match, I think it was another 7-4 win over Ukraine.
7-2, then 7-4.
7-2, then 7-4. Yeah. She's looking good, and then she hits Sakurai of Japan.
Yeah. So Sakurai of Japan, she's the favorite here. We've been circling this match. We knew this was the likely semifinal matchup. And today, coming into this match, Helen had never scored on her. Lost 3-0 and 6-0. And she comes out and she gets a takedown right away, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Because now Sakurai has to pursue, and you feel like this is good for Helen tactically. And then a key exchange was this 4, which I need to go back and watch because it looked like Helen was kind of in control of the situation, then over pursued.
So sometimes Helen does this move domestically where she's on a 2-on-1, then she like kind of steps her foot out. I don't know if you can change the ankle. She'll like really extend herself here. And Sakurai was able to kind of like take her over. She like rolled her through for 4. And that kind of shifted the momentum.
I thought they could have went 2 there in the same way that it feel like Helen initiated. Like if I initiated a throw and I landed straight on my back, they would normally give that 2 if I roll through. You know what I'm saying? If it's my so I thought they could.
I need to go back and rewatch.
Yeah.
I think she kind of like fell on her butt and then Sakurai rolled her through. Yeah. If I don't remember.
So that was a key exchange, and then it just kind of she couldn't just find a way back in. There were a couple of exchanges, but ultimately I think it was a 10-4 final, and Helen loses, and it, it's a bummer because it feels like Helen. I still feel like Helen can win that match, but Sakurai is. I mean, it's just Japan. It's kind of back to our regularly scheduled program. They don't beat themselves. They don't make mistakes like that, and that's the difference. And Helen, I mean, still, if she can go out with a bronze medal here, it's still a GOAT career for American freestyle. And she's accomplished literally everything. She has nothing else to prove, but really feel out strongly she and Aaron Brooks are going to be able to win bronze.
For sure. All right, on to the good.
All right, let's go.
Let's bring the energy up.
For crying
Spencer
out loud.
Lee. Spencer freaking Lee. Why do people call him that?
I don't know. Because
I see that in the comments a lot.
I think because they don't want to say the F word.
Oh, okay. That must be right.
Probably.
So, first match, who does he have?
He's got Zhao of China, who, like, I was actually excited for the rematch here because I was like, yeah, you had the close match with Spencer, but it's not going to be like that next time. And it was freaking another nightmare, heartbreak, like, scary. Like, Spencer was up 3-0, but it was tight, and he was attacking, but Zhao just only defended, and he defended well. And Zhao has the ability to, like, quick strike 4. He got 2 4s on Spencer, so you're scared the entire time. It ends up being a 3-2 final, and it's like,
but at the end, he was chasing him down. He got 2 push-outs, like, in the last 30 seconds. It was like, oh, man.
It got spooky.
And
then, but then he wins. And then next round, Ulu of Kyrgyzstan, I believe, no problem, 12-2 tech. Just, and we felt like that was a better matchup. And then we also felt like his semifinal opponent, Abdullayev, was a better matchup than who he beat, Haratunian. So Abdullayev beat Haratunian, and Haratunian was the guy that beat Roman Bravo Young in round 1. And honestly, it was Spencer start to finish in this match. They thought he had a 12-0 tech, and then they reviewed it, and they actually went 4-2 and changed it, so they had to keep wrestling. And then he gets another 2-2 and ends up winning 12-2 final, punching his ticket into the Olympic finals. And Spencer looks great. And
it's really great seeing him win some of those like freestyle flurries, where like you're spinning but you're not giving up exposure and you end up on top. It's like that's what you really want to see out of Spencer. He looks great.
His body awareness is insane, and it was a really, really impressive showing. And it feels like this Olympic final is the heavyweight match, the heavyweight final. Even though it's the smallest guys, these are the 2 juggernauts, Ray Higuchi and Spencer Lee. Ray also teched his way to the final as well. So we got medal matches for Brooks, Helen, Miles Amin, and Spencer Lee's gold medal match tomorrow, as well as that's tomorrow evening. And
1:30 p.m. Eastern.
1:30?
Mm-hmm. Well, that,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
because like 7:30 here.
He's right.
Because it's semis are first, and then they roll
And
into medal.
before that, semis, hopefully we've got Kyle Dake, Mason Paris, and Kayla Miracle all wrestling in that semifinal round.
That would be at 12:15 Eastern.
Yes, it would. Yes,
I got
it would.
the times locked down.
But those three that I just mentioned get started at
5 a.m. Eastern. Their first 2 matches.
Time Zone Master Tyler Meisinger. All right, are we gonna do the runaway thing, or is it just a high five and end it?
I can't believe that.